The legacy of apartheid special planning placed many townships and informal settlements far away in distance from economic hubs and service centers. Now, while the city of Cape Town, as asked, tends to perform well on measures of financial governance, it has not demonstrated significant progress in reducing the levels of inequality within the metro. In fact, census data shows that in the decade between 2011 and 2022, Cape Town performed worse than the average of all metros in expanding access to services such as refuse removal, piped water, electricity, and flush toilets to its citizens or residents. Analysis of the city's budget suggests that the per capita investment in infrastructure and service delivery is significantly lower in townships and informal settlements than in the city's more affluent areas.
Thank you very much, Honorable President. The first follow-up question is from Honorable Mananiso.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mr. President, recently the NCOP undertook a local government week to the Western Cape, which uncovered shocking levels of service delivery, as you have just alluded, inequalities, and projects that have been in planning phases for almost 2 decades, leaving communities in the Western Cape Township to live in the most shocking condition of poor roads, lack of water and sanitation, and high levels of crime. My question to you, Mr. President, given these persisting challenges that are facing municipalities across the country, as you said, and what we saw as members of the NCOP in the city of Cape Town and the terrible state of the living condition of our people, what progress are we making in ensuring that critical interventions such as the district development model improve the delivery of basic services in the township informal settlement, where the majority of our people continue to experience enormous service delivery challenges and backlog? And Mo President, ke kopa ha we araba e, we arabe ka dipuo tse dintsintsi gore batho ba go utlwe go gae ba tse molaetsa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Chief Whip. Over to you, President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The Honorable Member would like me to do a take of 11 languages in answering this question. I would love to do that, and I can do it, but I simply do not have the time within the 4 minutes that the Chairperson has allocated me. Empa ke tla arabela ka tsela ena ya gore go na le ditiro tse dintsi tse re di etsang tsa go lokisa bo masepala ba rona, and re ba lokisa go gotlhe mo go gong re etsa ntho e re bitsang gore ke presidential working group, which we have done to good effect in eThekwini. eThekwini, as I've often said, has been and is now rising to be once again the tourism mecca of our country. And when we realized that it was facing challenges, we were able to work together with various role players in eThekwini: business, labor, local government, provincial government, civic organizations, and many others, to set up a presidential working group which is working extremely well. It is led by Mr. Mike Mabuyakulu, working together with our mayor, Cyril Ramaphosa. eThekwini is being turned around, and those are some of the interventions that we are now putting in place, even for Johannesburg, and we will be putting same in place in other places as well, in other metros. At national government level, as I said, we have decided in phase 2 of our process of transforming the work that we need to do, we have identified that local government is an area that we need to have more focus on. And as we focus on local government, there are quite a number of issues. Governance issues that we need to address, financial management issues, and service delivery matters as well. A number of our local government places or municipalities are facing enormous challenges. And you could say maybe this is one area that we have neglected for quite a long time. But we are now in the process of spotlighting those areas and making sure that we do indeed start a correction process. And that is now happening in a number of our local government entities. We have started. It will take time, but the work is now underway. Ke kgolwa gore re tla fitla mo re tshwanetseng gore re fitle teng. Ka hobane ha re sa etse tiro e, go tla senyega dintho tse dintsi. Ke a kgolwa ge ke buile dipuo tse kaofela tse 11 o nkutlwile sentle.
Thank you very much, Honorable President. The next follow-up question is asked by Honorable Badenhorst.
Afternoon, Mr. President. Welcome back. Mr. President, Cape Town's record 40 billion rand three-year infrastructure budget directs 75% of spending to lower income households. A pro-poor investment that alone exceeds the entire capital budgets of the other metros. Simply put, no city in South Africa invests more in infrastructure for the poor than Cape Town. And so, Mr. President, you were quite right and honest recently when you said publicly that the ANC should learn from the DA-led city of Cape Town and Stellenbosch. And you were being honest again when you said that, and I'm going to quote you, Mr. President, at least there's one city and one province that works, unquote. And I think your colleague, Minister Mantashe, was also quite correct and honest when he said that ANC councillors are, and I quote again, good at singing, but capacity, dololo, unquote. Now, after that, you tried to do damage control by suggesting that the Auditor General only audits financial performance and not service delivery. Mr. President, surely somebody in your position should know that the Auditor General in South Africa audits both financial performance and service delivery. Anyone who has ever read an AG report should know that. So will you now correct that erroneous statement and confirm, as the AG does, as well as Stats SA, as well as COCTA and a range of other state and independent agencies, Cape Town consistently outperforms other cities in service delivery and also invests by far the most in basic services infrastructure? Thank you, Mr. President.
What is the question, Honorable Badenhorst?
Thank you for the opportunity to repeat the question, Honourable Chair. So, will you now correct that erroneous statement that he made regarding Cape Town's performance and confirm that, as the AG does, as well as Stats SA, as well as COCTA, and a range of other state and independent agencies, that Cape Town consistently outperforms other cities in service delivery and also invests by far the most in basic services infrastructure, question mark. Thank you.
You may respond, Honorable President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. My answer will be very short and to the point. My reliance is on two scientific instruments. The one is a Stats SA data or census analysis, and the other one is on the budget analysis of the city of Cape Town. And I did say in my head reply that census data shows that in the decade between 2011 and 2022, Cape Town performed worse than the average of all metros in expanding access to services such as refuse removal, piped water, electricity, and flush toilets. And this is not my information. It is data that is derived from the census. So it has performed worse than the average of all metros. So you may well say, yes, on the audited financial statements, it has shown that, yes, it has done well. But in the end, what really matters is the impact on the lives of the people. And if a metro is said by census data to have performed worse than the average metros, that metro should be worried. It cannot stand on top of Table Bay Mountain and say we are the best. No, it cannot do so. It cannot do so. Now the other measure, and I'm not the first one to do this. I'm not the first one to do this. There are other cleverer people who have done an analysis of the city's budget, and where they say that it suggests that on a per capita investment in infrastructure and service delivery, it is significantly lower in townships and informal settlements. It may well say that it has spent billions, but on a per capita basis, it continues to follow the racial patterns of the past. Because in the past, the apartheid government spent more money in white areas than it did in black areas. And the analysis says this is continuing right here in Cape Town. So one cannot stand on Table Mountain and say, I am doing better than others. You need to demonstrate that on a per capita basis, you are changing the lives of people. That is what is required. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable President. May I once again request honorable members not to interrupt the speaker on the podium. So, Table Mountain, Dololo. The president can't stand on a Table Mountain. Let's accept that.